Abdullah ibn al-Mu'taz is best known, not as a political figure, but as a leading Arabic poet and the author of the Kitab al-Badi, an early study of Arabic forms of poetry. This is considered one of the earliest works in Arabic literary theory and literary criticism. Persuaded to assume the role of caliph of the Abbasid dynasty following the premature death of al-Muktafi, he succeeded in ruling for a single day and a single night, before he was forced into hiding, found, and then strangled in a palace intrigue that brought al-Muqtadir, then 13 years old, to the throne. Life. Born in Samarra as a prince of the imperial house and the great-great-grandson of Harun al-Rashid, Ibn al-Mu'taz had a tragic childhood in the Byzantine intrigues of the Abbasid Caliphate. His grandfather, the Caliph al-Mutawakkil, was assassinated when Ibn al-Mu'taz was only 6 weeks old. These events ushered in the 9-year anarchy at Samarra. Abdullah ibn al-Mu'taz's father, al-Mu'taz, 14th Caliph of the Abbasid Caliphate, came to power in 866, but in 869 was also murdered. The boy was spared the purge of the palace by fleeing to Mecca with his grandmother. Upon returning to Baghdad soon after, he distanced himself from politics and lived the hedonistic life of a young prince. It was during this time that he wrote his poetry, devoted to the pleasures with which he was familiar. After reigning from the 5th of April 902 to 13 August 908, the 17th Caliph, Abdullah ibn al-Mu'taz's cousin al-Muktafi, died. Vizier al-Abbas ibn al-Hasan al-Jarjari wished to install al-Muktafi's 13-year-old brother al-Muqtadir on the throne, clearly intending to be the power behind the throne himself. Despite his reluctance, Ibn al-Mu'taz was persuaded by the opposition to assume the caliphate instead, in the hope that he would put an end to the intrigues that had plagued the dynasty for decades. He was crowned on the 17th of December 908, but was overthrown the same day. He fled the palace in Baghdad and hid with a friend, but was found on the 29th of December and strangled. Almost prophetically, he had once written as a poet, and another. Accordingly, Abdullah ibn al-Mu'taz was succeeded by the young al-Muqtadir, who is accounted the 18th caliph of the Abbasid Caliphate. Works. Al-Mu'taz's Kitab al-Badi, composed in 274 when he was 27, laid the groundwork for future studies of poetry by Arabic scholars. Its title can be translated as the Book of the New Style, and takes its name from its polemical aim, namely to show that the style of the poets called modern, such as Bashar B. Bird, Muslim B. Al-Walid, or Abu Nuwas, is not so very new, and that none of its features was not anticipated in the Quran, the traditions of Muhammad and his companions, and old poetry. In the estimation of Charles Greville to a T, Ibn al-Mu'taz is the spontaneous poet, akin in temper to Abu Nuwas. Free-ranging in his choice of subject, he is noted for newness of approach in handling his themes. What makes him essentially new, however, lies on another plane and is not immediately apparent. Carried along by his bold and sensuous imagery, we are satisfied that it is so, until, on pausing, we suddenly glimpse the perspective beyond.